Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Jane Stavum. I'm the proud superintendent of the Sioux Falls School District, and we would like to welcome you to the 2021 Dr. John W. Harris Teacher of the Year event. Like most events we've done this year, this one will look and feel a bit different from years past. Due to COVID-19 and social distancing protocols, we welcome our 8 finalists and their guests in person tonight. And we welcome our nominees and their guests who are watching this special night virtually. Each one of you are special, and while we wish we could have had you all together this evening, please know we feel your presence and we celebrate you and your accomplishments as if you were in the seats in front of us. The pandemic has changed nearly every aspect of our daily lives. It's presented challenges, and we have overcome. It has provided us with new technology and created an opportunity for each of us to learn and grow. In many ways, it has made us better, stronger, and more resilient. You may recognize the theme of wildflowers tonight woven throughout our celebration of teaching excellence as we honor the hard work, dedication, and selflessness of our nominees. Contrary to what most people believe, wildflowers are not easy to grow. It takes a very skilled gardener. One can't expect to see blooms in the first year or even the second with some species. In fact, it takes years for wildflowers to fully develop. The reward, however, is well worth the wait. Patience grows progress. As they become more established, wildflowers are strong and resilient. They require attention, but just like students who move from elementary to middle to high school, they strive for independence and can thrive even in difficult environments. A good gardener, a good teacher, gives them attention, practices patience, and allows students to blossom in their own time. Tonight, we offer a special thank you to the organization that makes this night possible. It was 33 years ago when former Vernites Motor Cars owner Bruce Eide approached the district and asked what he could do to support teaching excellence. The outcome was this award. It is Sioux Falls' premier teacher appreciation event and is known as the John W. Harris Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year, sponsored by Vernites Motor Cars and the Sioux Falls School District. While Bruce Eide retired to the sunny South, the current owners share Mr. Eide's vision of being a champion of education in Sioux Falls and continue to provide the generous $4,000 prize for tonight's winner. Justin Lake with Vernites Motor Cars is here with us tonight to celebrate our outstanding educators. We'd like to ask him to stand and please help us show our appreciation. He is up front. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'd also like to introduce our school board members and would ask them to stand as I say their names. President Cynthia Mickelson, Vice President Carly Ryder, and board members Nan Baker, Kate Parker, and Todd Tulke. And please give them a round of applause. Tonight, we honor 67 teachers from across the city who are nominated for this prestigious award. In most cases, parents wrote to convey their personal appreciation for the time, care, and love shown to their child. Many colleagues also recognized an educational leader among them and took time to pour those words into heartfelt nominations. And then there were the students who, despite their required homework, willingly took one more writing assignment to show their appreciation for a special teacher. Our nominees and finalists cultivate young minds. They scatter the seeds of hope and encouragement amongst their students, then they stand back and they watch them grow. Each of our nominees goes above and beyond. Before we continue with our celebration, we're going to take a few moments to remember, through music, who we serve and why students are at the center of our work and of our world. Please enjoy these musical selections from Washington High students under the direction of Jeffrey Spencer.
Ready, and you
Can't wait till we can hear them in person. Thanks once again to those talented musicians for sharing in our celebration tonight. Before we continue, we want to thank a few others as well. The Sioux Falls Public Schools Education Foundation has been a strong supporter of this event for the past several years. Executive Director Allison Struck works hard to secure business sponsorships for grants that go directly to our teachers for innovative projects. This year, 82 educators from 30 Sioux Falls schools submitted a Public School Proud application. The foundation continues to grow this amazing program to enhance the classroom experience for all of our students. In addition to the grants, the foundation awards each first-time, first-year teacher a $200 grant to help them equip their classroom at the start of the school year. The Student Success Fund, a program that helps meet students' basic needs, is also managed by the foundation and has been a lifesaver for many families. I would encourage you to learn more about their mission and all of the good work they do for our students and staff. Additionally, our thanks goes to the Sioux Falls Education Association for providing the boutonnieres and corsages tonight for each of our finalists. So thank you, and I believe Tim Eckert is in the back, so give him a round of applause for thanking. I'd also like to thank Ben Schumacher. Ben is back on our cameras tonight, and Carly Youthy up here for orchestrating the live stream and recording of tonight's event. Ben also created the finalist video presentation we will be seeing later in our program. A special thank you to the 5 judges who spent many hours reading and rereading the nominations and coming together to select the finalists for this year's winner. Please stand and be recognized when your name is announced. Cynthia Mickelson, Sioux Falls School Board President. Sue Macadera, recently retired Elementary Curriculum Coordinator for the district. Tony Burke, representing Downtown Rotary and a parent. Barbara Dowling, previous Teacher of the Year. And Justin Lake of Vernite Motors. Give them all a hand. Thank you so much for your service to our district in so many ways. So, for our first recognition this evening, we're going to welcome School Board Member Nan Baker.
Good evening. Since the Teacher of the Year program began in 1989, over 575 teachers have been recognized as nominees and finalists, and 32 of them have previously been named the Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year. Nominations and letters of support were submitted by colleagues, parents, principals, and students. We have a certificate and small packet of wildflowers to show our appreciation for each educator, which will be delivered to their school building. Now please draw your attention to the video monitor as we recognize each nominee.
Hermon Arenas, Christina Becker, Virginia Bergen, Andrea Blyle, Christine Bossman, Jennifer Boyle, Millie Brower, Jennifer Castello, Mario Chiarello, Robin Costello, Lois Christ, Ava Delgado, Amy Drecke, Erica English, Eliana Gutierrez, Casey Halbersma, Roxanne Hart, Caitlin Haug, George Hawkins, Terry Helgett, Dawn Helbush, Alyssa Hibbing, Nicole Hybe, Jamie Hill, Shannon Howeiler, Sandy Hurst, James Jurowski, Megan Kittisopickle, Jessica Knigge, Christy Colts, Sheena Kuipers, Michael Long, Stephanie Lingstad, Maria Martine Sepulveda, Megan McManus, Victor Naranjo, Michelle Nelson, Barbara Newitt, Bradley Newitt, Florencia Nieveshawk, Deidre Neeson, Lorena Pintoja, Chad Pasica, Margaret Potratz, Michael Powers, Laura Preheim, Teresa Pertel, Leanna Rabine, Rebecca Roberts, Trisha Runyon, Andrea Siebenborn, Adam Smith, Amber Smith, Susan Thies, Jillian Thomas, Laura Chaden, Lali Triadu, Jamie Westra, Sarah Wiebelhaus,
Well, let's please recognize these teachers again for their outstanding service.
And now, for our finalists, each of our 8 finalists has a unique perspective on their mission and what it means to them to be a teacher.
Let's take a few minutes to hear from those who nominated them for this award.
BEISCH is a passionate educator. He brings so much enthusiasm to his classroom, and his students share his love of science. He brings material to life with both hands-on and virtual demonstrations. He is a lifelong learner. I am always amazed at his vast knowledge about science and technology, yet he is always finding and sharing new information about both topics. He cares deeply about the students he works with. He creates rapport with his students and treats them with respect and fairness. I often see him chatting with students in the hall as they stop to share personal stories. 7th and 8th grade students go back just to chat with him. He puts the needs of his students first in every way. Students gravitate toward him and trust him because of the relationships he is able to build. This helps them grow as individuals and grow in their academics. Not only is he a passionate teacher, but he also takes on the role of team leader, department leader, and is part of Edison's Sunshine Committee, United Way representative, and Schoology ambassador. Tyler not only uses technology in his classroom, he also helps other teachers use technology in their content areas. When I think about the type of teacher I want teaching my own child, I think of the qualities that Mr. BEISCH already has: passion, enthusiasm, caring, leadership, and connection. He exemplifies what it means to be Teacher of the Year in his classroom, in his school, and in the community.
Jennifer Bogue has taught kindergarten exclusively at Hawthorne Elementary for 30 years. The foundational knowledge that is gained in kindergarten is crucial, and her tireless efforts have pushed entire generations of students through elementary school. She has encouraged, excited, and taught hundreds of students who needed a caring, loving, and talented teacher. Her dedication to the teaching profession is unmatched. She dedicates her time, energy, and all resources available to her in making sure that her students are successful in both school and home. Jennifer is the definition of a lifelong learner and is always seeking to grow professionally by taking part in courses and programs to better her teaching and maximize student performance. Jennifer is the first to tell her students, "You belong," the first to teach them, "You can," and the first to show them what they can become. Every year, month, week, and day for the last 3 decades, she has returned to repeat this important message out of a personal passion for the act of teaching. Jen differentiates instruction to meet personal learning needs, weaves engagement into every one of her lessons, all while instilling an understanding of personal character and how to learn as a student. She is a staple of our school's leadership team and an avid practitioner of the Circle of Courage mindset. Throughout this pandemic, through the struggles of distance learning last spring, through masks and social distancing among 6-year-olds, she is as an exceptional teacher as she is a friend.
Amy is an early childhood teacher at Hawthorne who demonstrates passion, resilience, and dedication to her students and school. She is a leader in our early childhood program while taking on the daily challenge of working with not just a blended group of preschool students, but also the specialized communication room of students with autism. When students enter the early childhood program, this is their first introduction to school. Amy works with those families to create a trusting relationship that allows her to build those positive interactions with families, setting up the student for success throughout their education. Amy always stays positive and has a smile on her face and tries to figure out what she can do differently to help a student. She's always so kind and takes pride in the kids she cares for. Amy Edwards changed my life. She truly did. My senior year, I had an opportunity to do a work study in Amy's classroom, though I had no intentions of teaching children in the future. I slowly found myself looking forward to afternoons in Mrs. Amy's classroom and found myself crying when I walked out of the doors and said goodbyes on the last day. I am now finishing my 2nd year as a SPED major. If I had never stepped foot into that room or seen what she does every day, or watched her teach students and seen the happiness that she got from watching her students meet goals and cross finish lines, I wouldn't be so in love with the education field, and I'd be majoring in something I wasn't truly passionate about. Being able to watch her work with her students every day was the biggest blessing I have ever received. Mrs. Amy helped me find my passion and my future. One day I hope to be as good a teacher as Mrs. Amy.
When my son was in 1st grade, he prayed that summer to have Bobby Greenfield as his 2nd grade teacher. The look on his face was priceless when he found out that in fact his 2nd grade teacher was Senora Greenfield. We saw such a change in him from 1st grade to 2nd grade. He loved school, talked in detail about what he was learning on a daily basis, and started to enjoy reading. He needed that kind of nurturing approach to feel comfortable and have the confidence to succeed. When COVID-19 forced students to begin virtual learning last year, whenever we had questions, we would always receive a response from Bobby, no matter what time of day it was. This summer, Senora Greenfield moved to 3rd grade, and our son had the opportunity to be in her class again. In fact, 23 out of her 24 students chose to stay with her during her transition from 2nd to 3rd grade. A parent's dearest wish is to have a teacher love their child as much as they do and do whatever they can to help them succeed. There is nothing greater I could hope for but for my son to be instilled with the love of learning. She is dedicated to her profession and cares deeply about her students. She knows her students as individuals and tirelessly works to simultaneously motivate, challenge, and inspire each one of them. Bobby models excellence for her students, her colleagues, and her community. Bobby is a Fulbright scholar and could choose to do any profession. She chooses to be a teacher. Our world needs those who challenge, inspire, sacrifice, and make an impact by serving others. Our world needs a Bobby Greenfield in every classroom.
Lindsay makes it a point to know each student individually. The students she serves love working with her because she has made each student feel important and valuable. Her dedication to education and compassion towards students and teachers is admirable. She makes a snapshot IEP for each student she serves and gives it to the child's teacher. It has important information like IEP goals, classroom accommodations for MAP and Smarter Balance testing. I have never received this from a SPED teacher in the past, and it has made my life so much easier. I can quickly refer to this form if I need information about a student's needs, and it's a wonderful way to condense a student's big cumulative file into one sheet. This is just one example of her helping her colleagues by going above and beyond what is expected. One of my students is dyslexic. Lindsay has moved mountains within her classroom and among colleagues to meet the needs of this family. I have been an administrator for the Sioux Falls School District for 13 years, and I have never worked with a more talented, committed, and quality special education teacher. Every decision is driven by what is best for students and developing positive relationships with them. She is a learning leader and makes an enormous impact on our school culture, but has also been asked to provide professional development for other special educators in Sioux Falls. So she is not only a leader in our school, but also for the Sioux Falls School District. As teachers, we love kids. Lindsay eats, sleeps, and breathes teaching. We need more people just like her in this profession.
Miss Peterson was my son's favorite teacher last year, and when we had the opportunity to join her classroom again for 5th grade, we jumped at the chance. She is invested in where children are at emotionally and academically, and I know she is honest with them about what they need to do to achieve more. It's a consistent build of character in her class within behavior, learning, and friendships. She somehow works her magic, making sure every student in her class feels empowered every single day. How do you thank someone that has changed the trajectory of your child's education? When in-person learning was no longer available last year, her adaptability and awareness stood out. She made the sudden transition to virtual learning as seamless and engaging as possible for her students and parents. She was also always available for questions. Our son's Chromebook stopped working one day, and she dropped off a new one on our doorstep so he could continue learning. When we got word that learning would be back in person this year, Miss Peterson got to work right away, making sure her classroom was safe, sending pictures and assurances to parents and students, and held virtual meetings to answer questions and concerns to help everyone adjust and feel comfortable with the new normal. She respects students, and they respect her. She has an amazing ability to connect with her students and is a great role model for them as well. We have been blessed to have her in our child's and our lives. Miss Peterson has a passion for creating children who accomplish. The only disappointing thing is that our daughter can't have her as a teacher again.
It is impossible to write into one small letter what Ann Robertson has contributed to students, staff, and administration in her 15 years as the Native American Connections teacher at Whittier Middle School. Ann is known across the district for her work with Native American students. Her ability to link both Native culture and the standards our students must know is a gift. Her expectations are high, and her curriculum is rigorous. She pushes her students to understand economics and trade through standardized math and social studies curriculum, while presenting material with cultural relevance. Because of this approach, students learn about their history while working on skills they need for the future. Ann is a major player on our SAT, our culture squad, our school improvement team, and our attendance team. When we're creating plans for students, she is the check and connect teacher. Ann is invested in all parts of her students' lives and advocates for them when they cannot do so for themselves. She recognizes her job is to model, and as she advocates for those students, she's teaching them how to do it for themselves. Her classroom is always filled with positive energy. She goes above and beyond with the amount of effort she puts in for her students. She is always there for us and was like a grandma to every student she ever taught. She has such a passion for Native American culture that it was contagious. She was a part of every single person's life, whether they wanted her to be or not. She made a positive impact on everyone. Every student deserves to have a teacher like Dr. Robertson.
Rachel Turner's impact at Roosevelt High School is immeasurable. She is an inspiration to her students, colleagues, and the RHS community. She goes above and beyond to ensure that all of her students enjoy the learning process with unique and creative ways to share and practice the skills necessary to master chemistry. As the science department chair, she could easily pad her schedule and teach the classes she has the most experience in teaching, or fill her schedule with classes to work exclusively with highly motivated advanced and AP students. Instead, she built a survey of chemistry course from the ground up. After getting that up and running, she developed a sheltered chemistry course to support our EL population of learners. She is a phenomenal teacher to every level of student and instills a love of learning and helps them apply chemistry to their lives every day. I have learned to never be surprised by Ms. Turner's efforts, enthusiasm, and dedication to coaching, teaching, or to her students or peers. She is the most hardworking and passionate teacher I have ever had the privilege to meet. She constantly inspires and motivates students inside and outside the classroom. She helps students envision how much of an impact a high school student can actually make in our community. She gives maximum effort to everything she does in her job. Ms. Turner not only taught me chemistry, but showed me what it means to be humble, kind, passionate, and hardworking. She is a mentor, a role model, and a friend.
Finalists, as we read your name, please come forward to receive your gift voucher for $100 to use as you wish in your classroom. Tyler BEISCH, Edison, Science. Jennifer BOGUE, Hawthorne Elementary, Kindergarten. Amy Edwards, Early Childhood at Hawthorne Elementary. Bobby Greenfield, 3rd grade, Sonia Sotomayor. Lindsay Johnson, Special Ed, Oscar Howe. Jessica Peterson, 5th grade, John Harris. Ann Robertson, Native American Connections at Whittier Middle School. And Rachel Turner, Chemistry at Roosevelt High School. Congratulations again to all of our nominees and finalists. At this time, School Board President Cynthia Mickelson and Vice President Carly Ryder will come forward to make the announcement we're all anxiously awaiting.
I'm just going to go off script like for 1 second here, but I just want to say to everyone here and everyone watching that I am so proud of our district, and I'm really going to try not to cry tonight, but it was about this year last time right before everything happened, and now we're here celebrating this again, and we've been open since school opened, and you all took the risk to do this, and we hoped we were setting you up for success in doing this, and we didn't know how this was all going to turn out. We hoped for the best. We planned as best as we can, and you took the risk and put yourselves out there and trusted in us. And thank you for doing that, because this is why we are a successful district, is because of the staff and community we have here to support us. So thank you very much. Through the years, more than $140,000 has been awarded to outstanding teachers thanks to our partner, Vernity Motor Cars. Thank you, Justin. Our ongoing relationship with Vernity is a true gift to the Sioux Falls Public Schools. In December, they reached out and wanted to thank all staff for their endless dedication during this challenging times of COVID-19. They delivered snacks to every school building because everyone knows food and Diet Coke is the way to a teacher's heart. One more round of applause for Vernity Motor Cars.
This year, wildflowers are our theme. Wildflowers have a mind of their own. Some are brightly colored, some are more subtle in appearance. Some grow tall and reach for the sky, and some stay close to the earth. Some bloom early, others bloom late. All are beautiful. Words and phrases used to describe this year's winner of the Dr. John W. Harris Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year are as varied as wildflowers. Nominators said this person is invested, creative, connected, brave and fearless, teacher, mentor, friend, and sometimes parent, one of the greatest advocates for students and their success.
The letters of support paint a vivid picture of the winner's devotion to teaching not only subject matter, but also pride and respect for oneself and for others. The inscription on the award reads, "A teacher helps children bloom into wildflowers, making this world a beautiful garden." On behalf of Ver and Heidi Motorcars and the Sioux Falls School District, I am proud to present this plaque and $4,000 check to the winner of the 2021 Dr. John W. Harris Teacher of the Year, Dr. Ann Robinson.
Goodness. Okay, I have no clue what to say except thank you so much. And this wouldn't be possible if I didn't have the wonderful students and families to work with that I have worked with and had the honor and pleasure of working with for the last 15 years, along with a wonderful staff and administration at Whittier. It's not something that is done alone in isolation, but with all of that support and those wonderful, wonderful kids who persevere and whose resilience is humbling. So thank you so much. Absolutely amazing. I'm shocked.
Well, this is what all of this is all about. People doing great work for students and recognizing them for really changing lives every single day. So congratulations. We want to thank all of you for attending tonight in person or virtually to share and support and encourage teaching excellence. And we wish you all a great evening. And to all of our finalists, before you leave tonight, please come up to the stage. We want to get some pictures of you so that we can celebrate with all of you. Thank you for coming.
It feels overwhelming. It's humbling. When I watched the video of all of the just incredible teachers that were on that list with video, I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, who could ever do what they do? So to be named Teacher of the Year was incredibly humbling. It's probably a path that started when I was a little kid, because my dad had a passion for Native American history, and it was something that he was always willing to share and talk about. So names of Oyates and tribes was just sort of always part of my understanding. And when I went to college and got my bachelor's degree, it was in political science, but I took every Native American studies class that they offered at the time. My husband is Native, and so his then different kind of information that wasn't book learning but was information about the people and the history from the perspective of his Teoshpai, then broadened that experience, and with what he ultimately did in his life as the Episcopal Bishop of the Diocese of South Dakota, we had the opportunity to travel and be in all of the reservations in South Dakota and all the little communities in each of those, which even broadened it further. And then my master's and my doctorate were both had an emphasis in Native Studies, although I don't have a Native Studies degree, but that was the topic of my dissertation. And so it's kind of been a lifelong journey, and all along the way with new pieces plugging in. I started substituting the year after we moved to Sioux Falls so that I could travel with him. And so then when he was getting close to retiring was when this job popped up, and we decided it was just time. It was something that was a dream job. It was just something I never thought I'd have the opportunity to do. Something I was passionate about, something I think I do well. And so that was when I made the switch from substitute to full-time at Whittier. I cannot tell you how much I love it. It's like, I really don't feel like it's work. And I understand that when we have new policies, when we have Schoology to learn, when we have some of those things to do, that's pushing yourself outside the box. When I find new information that I hadn't found before that I can share with the kids about either origins or culture or history, it always gives me an opportunity to push further and to look more into those topics. But at the same time, what I always tell the kids is don't believe anything I say without researching it and make sure I'm telling you right, because if I'm not, then tell me so we can dig it out further and figure out something else. So there's opportunity both for teaching things that are constant and primary documents that we can get at and see what they are, and at the same time unearthing all kinds of interesting things. The year I started, there really wasn't too much curriculum. Janet Martin, who is at Lincoln now, was over at Axel Park, and she was doing a math curriculum that had been very successful. But we teamed up, decided that we really needed to have a substantial curriculum for Native American Studies in the Sioux Falls School District. So we started with 6th grade and worked hours and hours and hours, staying that first year like one step ahead of we develop and teach. Got the 6th grade done and then started on the 7th and the 8th, and then moved that information into the high school with more depth. So it was a process that took us a long, long time, and we work really well together. We are neither one of us afraid to say that's really not the best work, and that's how we want it to be, so that we can be very look at these things critically, so that when we're done we have a really good product. The greatest thing has been our primary connection in the Indian Ed for Indian Ed staff has been student support services. And from the very time that I came, we have always had someone who really takes us seriously, somebody who involves us, somebody who's willing to listen to our needs and the needs of our students, and then responds. They've been able to take that, on up the chain to the right person, so that we just really feel like we've always been supported and had the things that we need within budgetary constraints, of course, but the things that we need, and that's been hugely positive. I don't know Dr. Stavum very well yet, but I hopefully will after we can get out and about and not have to worry so much about the pandemic. But prior to Dr. Stavum coming, Dr. Maher was incredibly encouraging and did a lot to embrace what we do. I tell everybody who will listen to me that Whittier is the best middle school in the district, and I believe that with all my heart. the things that we do with kids, with the diversity that we have, that's a huge strength. And having administrators that support that and staff that embrace that is beyond anything that anybody could ever imagine. It's encouraging for kids. And it's not that there are never issues, because when you throw a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of different ideas together, it's learning that respect, learning that you can have a difference and it's just fine. It's okay. We can still care for each other and be respectful of each other. And I see that at Whittier more than I've ever seen at any place I've ever taught. I would tell any new teacher, don't be afraid to create relationships with kids. That if you can create a relationship with your students, that student will do anything for you. They will reach to the highest heights that you set for them if they know you like them. And part of that's middle school, but definitely that is a Native population. That's a value that if you have created a relationship with somebody, then you're willing to work with that person. So that's a huge piece that I would say we all need to do every single day, and we can never be too good at it. We have to just continue to be working at that. One of the things that we need to remember always is that every one of us lives on the land of the Oceti-Sakowin. We live on the land that was inhabited for thousands of years by the indigenous people. And the people lost everything in the blink of an eye. And it's a population that oftentimes is silent, that we overlook, that we don't realize all of the amazing contributions that Native people make to our community and to our daily lives. And we need to think a little bit more about that and remember who we are as newcomers, the kids, and the families. Some of my students have incredible struggles, and to see those little guys just coming every day and doing everything they can, and the resilience and the persistence and their search for learning more is beyond anything that anybody, I mean, I'm just so lucky to be able to watch that happen with kids. And then to see kids go on to high school and to college and to stay in touch and just find out the amazing things that they're able to do is just reward beyond anything. Every single day, we only have one rule in here, and that rule is respect. And when we first start the year, we talk about how if we respect each other, respect ourselves, respect the material, and we do that in every single solitary class that we're in, it covers everything. And when we mess up, it's generally because we forgot that respect. And helping them understand that respect is something that comes out of you. It's not something that comes in, but something that you can show other people. So it is, as far as I'm concerned, and I think the kids believe that it is the most important thing that we do.